Welcome back, everyone. We have one more match today. But first, let's talk about SUPA HOT CREW's win in that last game versus ROCCAT. SUPA HOT CREW, of course, coming off a victory earlier here today, but it was ROCCAT that came out strong.
Yeah, the laning phase was really all about ROCCAT. They found more picks. They moved around the map more effectively. They actually built up a pretty hefty, sizable lead. They were, of course, playing against the Kassadin, so it was always going to take time for Selfie to scale up. I'd like to point out that that was a first pick Kassadin as well. Selfie, for me, is now picking more champions in multiple games than we'd seen in the spring split, to different levels of success, but it's nice to see him coming out of his shell and experimenting on the stage.
It's exactly where I wanted to go in my point. The fact that Selfie is looking more comfortable, seems to be playing to a better level, bringing out new picks, forcing bans on the likes of his Yasuo there, which I think was a good idea from ROCCAT to actually do that in the end. Fact is that they still have a bit of work to do, but as Impaler said in the interview there, they're working on it. They're getting their plan together, and they're going to only get stronger, in my opinion.
Yeah, and to follow up on that point, we saw that they were very aggressive, both Impaler and Selfie. They really wanted to make plays happen, which I think is a very good sign coming into this season.
It is when it works, but it didn't always work. I think a little bit of over-aggression. I still think Impaler and Lisa needs some more time. His early game decision-making is not the greatest. When you play Elite, you can get kills earlier on if you pick the right engages, and I don't think that he's doing that just yet. It was nice to hear in the interview, he said, well, we knew the Elise was coming, so you know, it's good that from a strategic standpoint, they understand their enemies. And what was even better is that SUPA HOT CREW bided their time. They waited until Selfie had items, had levels. There was one horrible Baron call by ROCCAT very early on in the game. They committed, tried to sneak it, got caught, surrounded. SUPA HOT CREW got a bunch of kills. Selfie got 3 of them. And you should never, ever, ever give Kassadin any kills, let alone a triple.
Yeah, and I think it's part of the problem that a lot of these teams really seem to be having right now when it comes to mid-game. Deficio said it right, that they kind of just went, what do we do? Okay, let's try and sneak a Baron. That's the only thing they knew.
Yeah, absolutely. And the second time, it came to bite them in the ass once again. We actually have a replay of that, because when you have a Kassadin that's so fed, he can just come in there and peel you off of it. Let's get that up on the screen right now. Yeah,
so the second Baron attempt, both teams are even. I mean, 4 towers to 3, 4 kills to 7. There's 500 gold separating these teams at 35 minutes. ROCCAT are not out of this game, but for the second time, they're trying a borderline desperation Baron play. So if you look at the minimap, you will see that Mima is not in the fight yet. He will be teleporting shortly. Let's roll this clip out and just focus on how effectively SUPA HOT CREW pick their targets. ROCCAT are tightly grouped, but they just get shut down by a very, very good point-blank Dark Binding from Weevilfailure. His Soul Shackles forces ROCCAT into panic mode. So instead of them trying to focus a target down and pick fights, they're in scatter mode, they're running away. There's a fight on multiple fronts. Selfie runs down a target. We see Mr. Rolls untouched, completely untouched after getting 4 kills. That leads to the Baron, and that was the fight that just gave SUPA HOT CREW complete control of the game. ROCCAT were trying to rush and panic a Baron. I have no idea why, because it was clear the game wasn't about to end. It didn't feel like they were so far behind. Yes, Kassadin was getting scary, but European teams, and you stop panicking about ending the game and figure out how to do it properly and without or with less risk.
And using a pink ward in the right position so that they actually have vision. If you notice on that one, they did actually pink ward a little bit further in on that second Baron attempt. But as you said, it seems like let's just do it because there's nothing more immediate or better to do right now. I think teams need a lot of time on that and need to work on it.
Absolutely, but good on SUPA HOT CREW for pulling out that win. Our next match features Fnatic, who had a jarring wake-up call at All-Star Paris against some of the best teams in the world. They realized that they need to level up their game and are hoping to put an Analyst on the roster in order to give them a hand.
The All-Stars was kind of a wake-up call for all of us. We realized that we're kind of far behind of the Eastern teams. I thought I was really good. I thought I was really good, and I thought we were really good. And then I met these guys, and they kind of just crushed us. Their team strategies and micro strategy overall was just so much better than ours. It's more about how you use the map as a team, how you rotate, how you use the lanes, and how you use the waves. Because they were so good at like stacking up the waves, and at the point where these waves were about to hit your tower and you wanted to go down there to take all the waves, but they gave you no time to take this wave.
Everybody from SKT trying to work with this giant wave and this cannon minion to make use of it and go for another push!
Fnatic just too slow to the party.
Honestly, I think every team needs an analyst.
The problem is you need to have a good analyst, and there is not tons of them in EU.
Getting someone who is really dedicated and is like actually good at the game can be tough.
It have to be like analysts which have the same knowledge as you as a player, or even better than you.
I think we have someone in mind and we might pick him.
I think Fnatic just need Monte Cristo because he's the best.